Hello viewers, thank you for joining me in Top Insight today. We will be exploring the story of Burke and Wills. This tale has always sent chills down my spine. First hearing about this as a child, it has always kept in the back of my mind, and today I will discuss what happened on that fateful journey. This story takes us to Melbourne, Australia. In 1860, the Royal Society of Victoria planned an expedition. The goal was to discover and map more of the untamed wilderness of Central Australia. Due to its hostile environment, any exploration through Australia is dangerous even today, let alone in 1860. Beginning in Melbourne, the expedition would track north through the eastern section of Australia, traversing many different terrains, dangerous wildlife, and hostile temperatures. The journey will take them all the way to the Gulf of Carpentaria, 3,250 kilometers away. With the importance of this mission, an experienced team was needed. This is where Burke and William Wills came into the picture. With their vast knowledge and expertise, they would lead the 19-man crew. The team left Melbourne on the 20th of August. With them were 23 horses, 6 wagons, and 26 camels. The sheer magnitude of the journey is hard to imagine, especially now. It's difficult to comprehend what these men felt starting this mammoth trek. With a 15,000-strong crowd cheering their departure, the crew's hearts were filled with optimism and hope. However, reality sunk in within the first hours. Not even reaching the edge of the city, one wagon broke down, dampening the morale of the men. The next days did not improve, with more carts becoming stuck and with unexpected rain wetting the ground. Any hope of catch up on lost time dissipated. The months followed saw them passing many small towns and conversing with local indigenous tribes, but the weather was unrelenting. With shelters from trees being extremely sparse, the constant heat was reaching well into 50 degrees centigrade. The last straw came at Cooper's Creek, where the group's camp became infested with rats. It had been 3 months since they departed Melbourne, and the fatigue of the men was becoming a real problem. This is when Burke made the decision to leave all but 4 men at the camp to rest, while Burke, Wills, and 2 other men would continue the trip up to the Gulf of Carpentaria by themselves to hasten the expedition. Burke and Wills were meant to wait at Cooper's Creek until March the following year to avoid the main heat of the summer, but for an unknown reason, Burke decided to leave in December, the start of the summer period. Burke asked the remaining group to wait 4 months for their return, where they would rejoin as a group and prepare for the returning to Melbourne. With a sense of trepidation, Burke, Wills, and the other, King and Grey, left the camp and made their way through the arid landscape. They took 6 camels, 1 horse, and only enough food for 1 month. With some fortune, the recent weather had made it easier to travel, and with unexpected help from more local indigenous tribes, Burke and Wills were regaining valuable time. On the bank of the Bayonne River, Burke noticed the water was salty and tidal, meaning the sea must not be far away. Unfortunately, the recent wet weather had made the land very boggy. Burke, desperate to achieve his goal, made the decision to leave the camels behind with Grey and King at a makeshift camp. Hiking the last leg of the journey with only Wills by his side, on the 11th of February, it is estimated Burke and Wills made the Gulf and returned to Grey and King shortly after. But it had been 59 days since they left Cooper's Creek, and with only 27 days of food packed, the men were running low, resulting in severe rationing. Their return journey became harder by the day. The extreme heat during the day and icy temperatures during the night were leaving the men's health in dire need. In desperation, Burke shot and ate one of the camels to stave off starvation. But because of this, they had to leave certain equipment behind, with no way of carrying it. Burke and Gray came down with dysentery on the return journey. Burke recovered, but Gray did not, leading him to lose the ability to walk. On the 17th of April, Gray died, leaving the three of them to bury his corpse near a nearby swamp. With the men exhausted and extremely weak, they did not have much time left. But on the 21st of April, they finally reached Cooper's Creek. But it was empty. No one was there. They may not have realized it then, but they had missed the main group by a mere 9 hours. Despite the departure of the other men, they had enough insight to leave markers on trees to alert Burke and Wills of buried caches of food and supplies. Burke, Wills, and Gray recovered at Cooper's Creek, utilizing the water and food to regain some energy, but their injuries proved too much. After one last effort to make their way south, Burke and Wills would die on the 28th of June. Gray managed to find help not long after from a nearby tribe, and he was eventually rescued on the 28th of September. This harrowing story of the expeditions always left a scar in my mind. The fact that they missed their crew by 9 hours is extremely devastating. What was going on in their minds, no one can be sure. They have the writings of their journal, but it doesn't show the magnitude of the emotions they were feeling. Hopelessness, despair, they would all be correct. But none of us can truly realize the sheer anxiety and darkness they would have faced. Thank you for joining Top Insight. Join us soon for our next video.